Let the sound of this bell draw our minds away from our objective world. May it put us in a state of peace and openness. Let us prepare ourselves to open up our minds and redirect our attention to the deep, deep essence of who we are within. Let us first of all open up our hearts. We can imagine that in the center of our being, or the center of the chest, deep beneath the layers of the physical and the energetic, deep within all the layers, there's access, a center. Let us imagine it as a kind of internal cave, something like the size of a thumb, a little larger than this, and deep within, let us feel that there is a source of infinite light. Let us feel that this light that represents omniscience is also pure love. Let this love infinitely expand from within, illuminating and refreshing all of the avenues and layers, one by one, even through the pores of the skin, the tips of the fingers. It will expand to everything that occupies space and everything that moves in time. Let us feel this expansive grace. Let us feel that everything operates from the glory of this internal divine self. Let us feel that joy and bliss accompany the love that is expressing and expanding. Let it go to every form that comes into view. Let us bless with infinite love all things that live and all things that live and move and all things that live and move and breathe. Let us feel a sense of well-being as we enumerate the infinite glories of this divine. We cannot count all the different ways that this glory expresses itself. Let us expand our loving attitude. The sun, the moon, the stars, and the tides, and all growing and living things. All this we cover with infinite glory of the infinite invisible. And in doing this, let us remember that the heavens and the earth are filled with everything that we need. And as our love and bliss spread outwards infinitely to all three worlds of this observable universe, that which is beyond and the interspace between. Let us behold that all things are emanations of the one divine, that they show forth the divine glory, the divine law, and the divine love for that infinite divine's own children, the infinite creation. By now we find that the mind has been quieted. And in this quiet, peaceful state, let us feel the reassuring words. You will keep that in perfect peace. The one who has perfect peace is the one whose mind is stayed in that infinite blissful base, our own divine nature. We can easily personalize this, for it is this divine grace that puts before us that particular form we love the most. Let us prostrate to that and other forms that emerge. Our mind is stayed on Thee, and in all Thy ways we acknowledge You, and You also direct the paths of our attention. In this state of peaceful quiet, we can encourage a reflective mood. For in our scope of spreading love and goodness, we may have visualized the country in which we stay. And we can feel the peaceful quiet in the land, in the earth with its magnetic core, in the mountains or by the sea. And we have become aware of the wonder and beauty of the earth itself. And the sky above, the heavens, they all declare the glory of this divine. In the heavens, in the firmament, we see the divine's handiwork. Right now, as we sit, numbers of brilliant stars, millions and billions of them overhead, are waiting. We can observe wherever we look, wherever the mind wanders, perfect regularity, evidence of rhythm and law and order, and an activity that governs all events. It is the same with the rising and orderly setting of the moon, the ebb and flow of the tide, and the succession of growing things, each in its own season. And as we sit and contemplate this divinity and the nature of its work, we can see how it reveals an infinite law governing this universe. And as we sit, we understand this body is also a universe. Let us allow this body to be seated so that the chest, the neck, and the head are arranged in a straight line. Let us be aware of the very pulse of the heart, the circulation of the blood. Let us join the thumb, the tip of the thumb and the tip of the forefinger with hands, palms face down. This is called Jnana Mudra. And with the palms face down, let us adopt the attitude that the mind will stay where we sit. Let us draw our attention to where the thumb and forefinger are meeting. Let us feel the pulsation of the blood as it circulates at that point. Let the joining of these two, the forefinger and the thumb, symbolize a union which we do not have to seek, for it is already there. And let us pray that the mind may be steady. It is not that we should force it, but we can observe, just as we are observing the pulse and observing the breath. We can also observe the meanderings of our thoughts. And we can easily bring up, as we wish, beautiful thoughts of pilgrimage journeys from the unconscious mind, sitting below the level of our current awareness. Scenes of joy and delight of mountains and forests and lakes and rivers, of infinite seas, of infinite space, of infinite horizons, and of the warmth that we feel by the infinite fire of the self. Let us draw our attention away from all these things that we find are avenues for distraction. Let us feel that the thoughts are waves in a mental field. Let us be happy that they can come, that they can be present, and that they can depart. For it is the witness, the knower, and the thinker that observes and gives rise to all of these sensations, mental and physical. Now let us imagine that where we started from, the inner realm of the heart, let us feel that it is covered with a thin layer, something like muslin cloth. Let us feel that on top of that, a layer of red cloth. And on top of that, cloth made from blue material. And on top of that, the body, made from slowed down waves, generated from all the food that goes in, containing within itself the magic that rice that can be fed in is converted into this body. Let us now take off, as we would clothing, this layer of the body, like a worn coat. Let us imagine that we are leaving it in front. Now this layer of blue, let us take it off. All the energy that distributes everywhere, centralized in this unit, captured by the body, let us take it off. And the mind itself is like a lace cloth in front. We can also take this away. And we have to notice as we take off level and layer after layer, we sink down more and more into our own infinite reality. Let us take this level and layer off, the red in color, discard it. And then there is only one thin veil left. And let us sink down deeply now into our own true nature, which is sheer bliss. Let us feel the sensation of love and bliss and joy that is our own true nature. This is the universe made from pure spirit. Let us sit in the peace of pure existence, with no past or present or future, unlimited in terms of here or there or now or hereafter. And in this consciousness, finite sense disappears, and the vision is without boundaries, and life is seen and understood as an unfettered form and limitless beauty. And even The wisdom of the ages is encompassed in a moment. And we have touched the reality of immortality that is seen now and understood. It is a vision of life without beginning and without end. It is reality that is brought to light. And in this inner consciousness, there is no barriers of time and space. And our vision encompasses the universe. It bridges time and eternity and includes all being. And whenever the attention wanders from this inner center, allow it to contemplate the glory of divine existence everywhere. This is observing the divine in action on earth as in heaven, beholding the very glories of that divine. And when we see it and when we notice it, let us at least evoke a sense of praise, acknowledgement of this divine. And let us bear witness to the fact that this divine grace is completely sufficient. That we are living continuously a life of continuous meditation. We are praying without stopping, and we never desire anything or tell God of what we need or try to influence that in any way. Because even as we sit, we are not trying to accomplish or to acquire anything. We are simply realizing that the divine grace, which has populated the earth and filled it with all good things for our use, is sufficient in all things. The wisdom, which is the inner divinity, this is our sufficiency. And the love which is of this divine essence and which meets every need of this earth is our sufficiency. And let us lead the mind back to that place in consciousness where we are completely silent in our thought. A complete state of awareness in which we find an inner alertness, an inner awakening, a state of receptivity and expectancy into which flows the realization of the presence of our own pure divinity. This is a state of peace because beyond that we need nothing. Isn't it better to have that realization than to have the entire world of fame and fortune? Let us settle down now into that source that outwardly appears as food, health, wealth, companionship, and recognition. Whatever the immediate need may be, the presence of this divinity is the fulfillment of that need. Let us bathe in the silence of truth and wisdom. Let us feel the oneness of pure existence and infinite love. Let us use our imaginative faculty, an aspect of divine grace, to construct the personalized version of this as a face, as a body. Let us surrender our full heart and adoration to this shining being who radiates in all directions. And let our nearness be oneness. Let this meditation, these pure thought movements, this inner radiance that we have found, radiate in all directions, transforming all people and places and events. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace beyond all.